In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God, and all things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So God created people in God's own image. Some people loved God and followed him with their whole hearts. Some people began to follow God, but then they turned away to other things. And God's people became separated from the God who created them and from their true purpose of relationship with God. And as they were separated from God, they were enslaved to man and the things of man, and they cried out many times for a rescuer to save them from their bondage to sin and to man. And they waited, and they waited for the rescuer to come. At the season of Christmas, everything has changed. It's the time of the color purple. This color is a strong color, a serious color, because something serious is about to happen. At one time, purple was only worn by kings and queens. Long ago, even Roman citizens could only wear a little stripe of purple, and that is all. This purple is because a king is coming, but he is not the kind of king that people thought was coming. The king had no army, no palace, and no gold. This king was a baby who was born in a barn. But the king who was coming, is still coming. And this is full of mystery. And a mystery can be hard to enter. That is why the time of Advent is so important. It helps us to get ready to enter the mystery of Christmas. A long time ago, the church decided that people needed time to get ready to enter, or even come close to entering the mystery of Christmas. The church set aside 4 weeks to get ready because Christmas is such a great mystery that it takes that long to get ready. This year, churches were still closed and only meeting online when this time of getting ready began. During this time, we are on the way to Bethlehem. We are all making the journey. There are people who have made this journey who can help us. The prophets, Mary and Joseph, the shepherds, and the Magi have all made the journey to Bethlehem, and they can show us the way. On the first Sunday of Advent, we remember the prophets. This is the hand that stands for the prophets. They point the way to Bethlehem. Prophets are people that come so close to God, and God comes so close to them, that they know what is the most important. They didn't know exactly what was going to happen there, but they knew where it was going to happen. Here is the hand of the prophets. They said, stop, watch, pay attention. Something incredible is going to happen in Bethlehem. As we stand to sing our first carol, I'd like to invite Lucas, if you would please come and light the candle of hope and of the prophets. Holy Family is on their way to Bethlehem, and we are going with them. Here is the Mother Mary. There is Joseph. Here is the donkey. And Mary was about to have a baby. It's very hard to walk when you're about to have a baby. Sometimes Mary rode on the donkey. It's very hard to ride a donkey when you're about to have a baby. Sometimes Mary walked along the journey. They must have been the last people coming up to Bethlehem that night. As we stand to sing our next carol, I'd like to invite Josie to come up and light the candle of peace and of the Holy Family. Sorry, I need a candle. On the third Sunday, on the third Sunday of Advent, we remember the shepherds. The shepherds were in the fields around Bethlehem, keeping their sheep, trying to stay awake so the wolf didn't get the sheep. Suddenly, there was so much light in the sky that hurt their eyes. They were afraid. Their hearts were racing. When they could hear something besides their own heartbeats, they thought they heard singing in the sky. That also frightened them until they heard the words of the song. The angels were singing, "Don't be afraid." Angels often say that because it can be scary when you see an angel. The angels kept on singing, "Don't be afraid. We bring you tidings of great joy, peace on earth and goodwill to everyone. A child is born. Go, hurry, run to Bethlehem to see the child who will change everything." There is something different about this candle. It is the color of roses. This is to remind us of the great joy the angels sang of. And one more thing about the color of roses. It is also one of the colors for the Mother Mary. Remember her again, for without the Mother Mary, there would be no baby. As we stand to sing our next carol, I invite Sophia to come and light the candle of joy and of the shepherds. On the fourth Sunday of Advent, remember especially the kings bringing gifts, the wise ones, the Magi. The Bible doesn't actually say how many of them there were, only that they had 3 different types of gifts. They came from far in the east, and they were so wise that people thought they were magic. Of all the things they knew the most about the stars. They knew where each star was supposed to be at each time of the year, and they could tell people when it was time to plant the crops, when it was time to cross the high mountain passes when the snow wasn't too deep, or to take a trip on the ocean. And suddenly, they saw the wild star. It was not on any of their maps. It did not stay put. They decided to follow the wild star to see where it was going and what it wanted to show them. They followed the star all the way to Bethlehem, but they came from so far away that they got there after the baby was born. Every year, they are late. We usually celebrate them on January 6th, 12 days after Christmas, on the day we call Epiphany. But we remember them today because, like us, they too are on the way to Bethlehem. As we sing our next carol, I would like to invite Elizabeth to come up to light the 4th candle, the candle of love and of the Magi. Santa? It finally comes, what we've been waiting for all this time. Here it is, the mystery of Christmas. A baby is born. And everything changed. And maybe the one who was most surprised was the old cow who came that morning to get her breakfast. And there, instead of a breakfast, was a baby. Everything has changed. Oh, wait, something's missing. Here it is. The Christ candle. And one more thing. A picture of our chapel. This represents us and all who are on a journey to find God and our way back to our true purpose, relationship with Him. Isn't it amazing that the bridge back to God, our perfect Creator, came in the form of a baby? That one small baby, begotten of God and Mary, can lead us back to Him. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. The Word became flesh, and made His dwelling among us. Yet to all who received Him, and those who believed in His name, He gave the right to become children of